Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly energy forecast show. I'm Julie, and I'm very happy to be with all of you. Sophie, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Hopefully this is a good week. I know last week was a big energy. Hopefully we're going to have a beautiful energy for this week. So let's manifest that together.
Yeah. And of course, there's a lot happening in the astrology. We're having a beautiful new moon in Cancer, which is my favorite of the year. But still, we're also in the tension from last week. We're still in the square from Saturn, Jupiter, and Neptune. So let's go ahead with the cards, shall we? Before we dive into the astrology. So, what's going to be this week like in terms of energy?
Let's see what we have for this week for people watching live and on replay. So let's start with the first card of recognition.
It's interesting. This card has popped into my cards that I picked for this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Taurus with the key. And the last card for this week's energy, we have the card of the snake, which is betrayal, jealousy, and threat. No worries, we have a second row. We are going to see what it is about. Let's see what we have for this week with the energy of the week. So under recognition, we have the King of Pentacles. And under notorious, we have Ace of Wands. Under the snake, we have the card of the Five of Pentacles.
Okay.
It is interesting because just before the show, we were talking about how this week can bring some kind of bruises. Some people that we know have been hurt yesterday. So that's interesting that we have this. So I want to say that the card seems to go more in a career-oriented way. With recognition, the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands, we can talk about maybe changing a career, clarity on what you want to do next. We can talk about promotion. We can talk about receiving the recognition on what you are doing finally. For a long-lasted effort also, maybe out of your career area could be also rewarded. So if you are putting a lot of effort in your diet, for example, in your exercise, if you're putting a lot of effort elsewhere in your life, it's almost like if you didn't see it pay off yet and you have been putting in the commitment, it is going to be rewarded. There is going to be movement and a start of removing what you wanted to remove. So stress or fat, if you're trying to lose weight. It could be also trying to remove obstacles out of the path, regaining some kind of good reputation. There could be resolving conflict after. This is only for those people who have been really working on themselves and working on the relationship, because this is a reward of long-lasted effort. So maybe Saturn somewhere in the mix. For the last two cards, we can see that there is a potential for events that you didn't see coming. There is a potential for maybe a little bit of bad luck in some way. So I would say that for this week, don't take risk. Continue with the same routine, continue with the same discipline, because there is a risk of either anger from others, betrayal, it says, jealousy, threat. So don't go too fast on the road. Don't take risks. Don't be too bold, because there is a slight chance of, unfortunately, some mistakes happening, some slip happening. So we don't want that. But overall, it could also be talking about emotions that are being hurt, conversation that doesn't go the way that you thought they would go. But all of this is just to keep you on your path of discipline and on the right path of building your life with a good intent and a good energy, and keeping you almost like reminding you that going off of that path of discipline and work on yourself may be not bringing you the right energy. So if maybe you're in this summer energy and you're trying to let go of the good diet or anything, there is a reminder of, no, you cannot let go right now. You need to continue, because otherwise there's some kind of risk of receiving something else than what you really are working towards. So this is what I have for the week. What do you have for us?
And it's interesting. I just want to mention the last two cards that you pulled, like the Five of Pentacles, being like the abandonment card, and the snake. First, when I saw the snake, I was like, ooh, like there could be like a threat coming from the outside. But to me, and let me know if you think I'm right or wrong, but it feels like there is this potential for self-sabotage, to abandon ourselves. And this is kind of like, you worded it differently, but you said, like, let's say you're trying to lose weight, and like there's going to be this test, or are you going to abandon yourself in your on your path? So I feel like, to me, it seems, and of course it could bring to outside results of getting, let's say, the opposite from where you're trying to manifest, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome, man. You're going to see with the astrology, like it really, really sinks in with everything that you're saying. So we are already the last week of June. So today is June 23rd. So we're still, of course, like in the energies in the astrology from the square. So if you see some, and you see like it was exact on the 15, and here on the 23rd, like today, we have the Sun square Neptune. So we have this tension that we're still feeling, and the square between Jupiter and Neptune and Saturn is like a big deal. That's not only one day. So we're going to feel it throughout the month of June. And it's like we're trying to outgrow something, but there's still like the universe that is like testing us in some kind of way, and the things that we need to outgrow are still in our way. So we need to make sure that we are focusing on our sense of integrity, Jupiter, authenticity, our highest path possible, but there are going to be some obstacles or things that we need to cut off of our path, which is this aspect of tension. But the rest of the week is beautiful, and we have the most amazing new moon of the year, in my opinion. So on Tuesday, we're gonna have the Sun Jupiter conjunction. So Jupiter is gonna be like the angel of our week. And the new moon in Cancer, if you see, there's a star here. So it says in the legend, "Lucky breakthrough." This is like an amazing new moon that is going to be conjunct, so on the planet Jupiter. So it really emphasizes the energy of Jupiter. And as we know, like we need like a closer event to the Earth in order to activate another planet. So this is activating again. So we had the full moon opposite Jupiter 2 weeks ago on the 11th. And then on the 25th, we have the new moon conjunct Jupiter. So with the beautiful blessings of Jupiter, and the rest of the week is mostly positive aspects between planets. So I'm going to talk briefly about this. I made a slide, so for people who love the slides, just to make sure that I don't forget anything too. So I call this new moon, new beginnings that will bear fruits. So it's really interesting because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So this is a new moon in Cancer. So an activation of our sense of oneness, our foundations, our family, our values, our place of living. So everything that is Cancer ruled, our self-worth is going to be so important. And also Cancer rules, of course, family, the past, our ancestors, and 4 degrees also the degree associated with Cancer. So I call this one new beginnings that will bear fruits. And interesting because the cards that you had were mostly about work, pentacles, and you were mentioning that we were going to get reaping the rewards of what is going to be starting. So it's very, very much in line with the astrology. So it's with Jupiter. So we're going to be presented new opportunities for growth, whether it be material, spiritual, psychological, but new opportunities will likely arise close to this new moon for our own growth. So wherever we are on our path is going to be different for everyone. And of course, you can look at 4 degrees of Cancer in your own birth chart to know what house is going to be activated for you, because it's going to be opportunities around the house that it's located, right? So it's if it's in your fourth house, for instance, it's going to be more like living situation, family, all sorts of things, personal life related. If it's in your 10th house, for instance, it's going to be more career oriented. So this happens a few days after we had the beautiful solstice. So this is the celebration with the sun in the northern hemisphere is at its peak. So we are ready to embody more light and consciousness. And this new moon serves like as a vehicle for growth, for new opportunities. The universe is like, yay. So you're ready finally to grow even into more consciousness, more awareness, more soul growth. So here's an opportunity for you, and depending, of course, on like what you surround yourself with, but this is going to be an opportunity for you to embody more light consciousness, more integrity, more authenticity. And of course, it's the continuity also of the last full moon we had in Sagittarius, which 2 weeks ago, which was all about choices, decisions. We were all being confronted with something that we had to choose in order to stay true to our own soul. And now we're coming back home with this new moon. We're really, let's say, building the foundations in order for something to grow and bear fruits eventually. So it's a new moon. We are ready to begin anew now that we've made decisions, that we've committed to ourselves, to what's important to ourselves. It's a fresh new slate. A lot of you and a lot of us are going to be either moving, traveling, or having international opportunities. And it's a Cancer, so it's going to be all about living situation, family, personal life, what really nurtures you. And you'll have an opportunity to really make sure that you're starting something that will nurture your soul. Also, we can talk about legal opportunities or legal affairs that could be moving in a more positive way because of Jupiter. Conflicts that eventually lead to resolution because we still have the square at the time of this new moon between Saturn and Jupiter and Neptune. But these growing pains are going to lead to growth, to positive outcomes. So to have the best results, of course, it's important to follow Jupiter. So have a high moral compass. Don't try to be sneaky, dodgy, or try to avoid things because like you don't want to rock the boat too much. You have to make sure that everything aligns with your soul, with your values. This is Jupiter, to have like the best blessings of Jupiter. So authenticity, integrity. And yeah, the tension will be leading to a new path, as I said. And because it's making a sextile, so a positive aspect to Mars and Virgo, will have more energy to focus on work, on professional projects that will bear fruits later on. So you talked also about the professional side of things, which I think will be very prominent for most people. And lastly, I wrote walking the talk, which is probably like the most spiritual thing that we can do, is aligning our actions with our values, with our words, with what we believe in. And now it's time to put in the work in the 3D, in the real world, to make sure that we are walking the talk indeed. So this is what I have for the astrology of this week. So the new moon is going to be so important. It's on the 25th in the morning. So the night of the 24th, the 25th. Really use this opportunity to begin something that's of value to you. That's my advice, because I think this is like such a magical portal of manifestation. Sophie, any comment on that? And also maybe can we pull some extra card on this new moon maybe?
Sure.
What can we do to really take the best out of this energy? Because I feel like it's really, really special. I'm very excited about it.
Absolutely. Well, in the previous card that we had, we talked about keeping your discipline and starting something new. That's for sure. And we kind of have the pretty negative cards. That's interesting for this new moon.
Wow. Well, there's the tension. There's still the square, so maybe it's talking about the square.
Yeah, it's really talking about how do not be pushing inward your feelings, and really use that to be with integrity and everything. Be a leader around you on how you are authentic. Be a leader on how you are showing up with your true feelings and you're not hiding anything, because I think that this is a very important portal to be your own light. And if you are not, if you are still in holding in some things inside, it can fester. So this new moon, you said it is very beautiful. I think that you should release whatever is blocking to receive the most light in,
Mm.
and to stay in your truth during this week. So, and start something new, of course. So this is part of the discipline.
That makes so much sense. So it's also about, it's not just about like manifesting and starting something new. It's also about like removing what doesn't allow you to step into your full integrity, and any blockage that are on your path. And we talked a little bit about self-sabotage. So make sure that you're fully into your integrity, authenticity to get the best rewards. So it seems like we're going to be tested in some kind of way by the universe.
Well, it's from the get-go, from the first card, it was talking about keeping your discipline, your work. So it's a reward. So I don't know if it's, well, it can be seen as a test, absolutely, but it's just a continuation.
Yeah.
So for those who have been refusing to do the work, it could be an opportunity to start the work. For those who are already started, it's just to continue and just to prove that what you're doing is working and you're going to see the rewards of it.
And yeah, and again, like I think it points to what I was saying with the astrology, like the most spiritual thing you can do is to align your everyday action, Mars and Virgo, with your values, your sense of purpose, Jupiter. So this new moon is a chance to solidify this into the form of an action, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, thank you so much, Sophie. If you'd like to book with this amazing oracle, you have the choice between the 30-minute pre-recorded reading, which will be sent to you about 2 weeks later after you book, in the form of a private video link that you can watch and rewatch anytime. We have amazing comments from people receiving their own video, so thank you, Sophie, for that. And also we have the 1-hour live Zoom consultation, either the tarot reading or the past live reading one. And for all those 3 choices, the other one is not on this slide, but it will be if you click on the link down below. Don't forget to enter Jupiter as your discount code at checkout to get 10% off your next reading with those 3 options. And also, if you'd like to get started into your own astrology, if you'd like to get even more knowledge about your own birth chart, what makes you unique, you can order your birth chart here, and the link will be down in the description box as well. And it's in digital art print in the color of your choice. So you're going to be able to select your choice, your color, and not your choice, but your color. And it comes also with a 15 to 20 pages report explaining your most important placements and alignments you're going to be able to follow every week when we talk about astrology, and you're going to know like what is going to be activated in your own blueprint, in your own birth chart. So you can also use Jupiter to save 10% off with that amazing birth chart in the description box. Amazing. Thank you so much, Sophie. We love you, everybody. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and commenting. As always, it really helps us into continuing to grow as a channel. So, of course, we're going to be back with some more amazing shows. Thank you, everybody. Bye.